I want to tell you guys a story of my experience with from what I think was a cannibal.
Welcome back to the Dating View. In today's video, women open up about their dating horror stories and the bad experiences they have faced while trying to navigate modern dating. From red flags and mixed intentions to situations that left them confused, disappointed, or frustrated. These are real stories that highlight the darker side of dating today. If you enjoy videos about modern dating, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more.
You guys want to hear something disgusting and why you should never let men into your beautiful feminine home, right? I made the unfortunate mistake a while ago of letting a man enter my home, my beautiful, clean woman, good smelling home, right? We were dating, so I was like, okay, I'll let it slide. But then I made the mistake of letting him use my shower. I'm over here in the living room minding my business while he's showering, and you know what I hear? A violent blowing of his nose while in the shower. And I was like, all right, you know what? Okay, fine. Then he goes home, and then I go into the shower to see what's going on. Also, before I shower, you know what I find? Fucking booger on the shower wall, on my nice white marble shower wall. Who the fuck raised you? Why would you do that? And why would you do that in someone else's home? I immediately went, get my phone, blocked that number, never heard from you again. Don't ever let a man into your house. Public service announcement.
So I went on a date with this guy last month. We matched on a dating app. I know, barf. But when we matched, I was like, oh, I've seen his profile before. Like, we've matched before the last time I had this app. So probably like 6-7 months ago. Anyways, we talk a little bit here and there for a week. And I tell him, like, oh, this is when I'm free. He asked me on a date. We go get coffee. We walk around. It was really fun. It was really cute. Like, wholesome vibes. On my profile, it says, teach me how to skate. And so he brought his skateboard. He was really flirty, super into it, like, nice guy, was being a little bit, like, touchy, flirty, whatever, and asked me on a second date, like, in person. And I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. And he's asking me, like, what are you looking for? Like, what are you wanting? What are you attracted to? What are you not attracted to? Like, have you been in long-term relationships? Like, all of these very intentional questions. And so I'm like, what about you? Like, asking him the same. And we start talking about, like, previous relationships and stuff. And he tells me that he just gotten out of a relationship a month ago and they dated for a long time. Like, I can't remember if it was 1.5 years or 2 years. And after the date, I'm, like, waiting for him to, like, set up another time to go out again because he asked me on a second date, and we texted a little bit for, like, a day and a half, and then he ghosted me for 3 days. And I was like, you wanted me, but okay. And he texts me and he's like, God, I can't say this with a straight face. He texts me and he's like, I think the date was super fun, you're really cool, but I need to focus on someone more passionate about the outdoors and skiing. So I was like, okay. And he goes, I didn't want to waste your time and I didn't want to just ghost you either. And I was like, okay, first of all, like, you did ghost me for 3 days. Second of all, like, I appreciate the honesty, but I replied, I said, okay, no worries. I did remember something though. After our date, I've matched with you before, like 6 months ago. And on our date, you said you were in a relationship 6 months ago. So I'm glad we're on the same page about you not wasting my time. And that's how my dating is going. That's how my dating life is going. That's the only date I've been on in like 2 months. So 3 months.
All right, story time. I just went on the worst date ever. Have I had worse dates? Yes, but this was like the worst I've had in a long time. Trigger warning, audacity, bad manners, and a broke man. All right, so this man and I have been texting for a few weeks now, and we were finally like, yeah, let's, meet up. And we went to a cafe near my house, and he did have to drive like 45 minutes. I was like, okay, I mean, as you should. Now, tell me why I get there. He's already sitting down, right? And he got us a table. I'm like, okay, cool, great. But I walk in, and he's already ordered himself a drink. And it's like gone. And, I said, hi, nice to meet you. I sit down. I'm like, oh, you already got yourself something to drink. And he was like, yeah, I love so-and-so and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm thinking automatically, okay, so how's this gonna go? Because I'm gonna get a drink, right? Is he gonna stay seated? Like, I can't even imagine a situation in which he stays seated and lets me go get my own drink on a first date. Guys, let me tell you, he did. He was like, yeah, feel free to grab something, as if he owned the whole damn store and was like, help yourself to whatever. And was like, oh, okay, I see what this is. You're broke and you have no manners. How dare you invite me out and you can't even get me like a little drink or something. So I go get in line and I order, and I'm standing there waiting for my drink to come out because I'm not walking back and forth and whatever. And I've already made up in my mind, like, I'm gonna get my drink and I'm walking right out and leaving. And it's just funny because like the table he chose was right next to the door. And I'm sorry, maybe this is me just being judgmental, and it's coming from someone who loves books and reading. He brought a book with him. It had like a highlighter, and he was like all up in that thing. I was like, on a date? It just felt performative, you know what I mean? So I texted my sister. I was like, hey, do you want any boba? Because I'm grabbing it to go, you feel me? So I got my order and I walked out of there, and I walked fast to my car because I was a little worried. Sometimes men be crazy, and I wasn't sure if he saw me or not, but I didn't even look his way. I got my ass out of there, and I went to my car, locked it, blocked him on everything, and I had to drive past the place to like leave, and I see him sitting in there like looking at his phone all hard. Like, I wonder where she could be. I wonder what's happened. You happened, sir. Like, come on. Yeah, in that situation, there's no need to have any sort of conversation. Just goodbye. Like, this is not what I want at all. This is not the type of man I'm interested in. And goodbye. So, yeah.
Okay, now that I've got all of your attention, I have the most insane date story that I have to share. If you've been around for a while or you're one of my friends, you probably know the story. But I always say it's either a good date or a good story, and this one was a good story. So this was when I lived in Austin, Texas a couple years ago. I had met this guy on Hinge, and when I matched with him, he picked a place and a time, and I was like, great. He picked a restaurant for like 7:30, 8 p.m. drinks, which I thought was kind of interesting, but I'm like, I don't really care. I'll show up. So he picks a place right where he lives. He went to school at UT. I forget what he was studying, but so he picks a place close to him, which I'm like, don't love, but whatever, I'll go. I go on the date, and I can always tell within the first like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, how the date's going to be. And I can tell I'm going to hold the whole conversation up and just lead it, which is fine. I can talk to a brick wall if I need to. I don't really want to, but whatever. So the waitress, like the host, takes us all the way back. It's like an old house turned into a restaurant. Takes us to the very back of this damn house restaurant. We sit down in the corner, and sure enough, it's like really challenging to have conversation with him, which is fine. He's really nervous. I'm like, maybe in 30 minutes he'll chill out. He doesn't. And we get a drink, and we're yapping, and it's like everything I ask him, there's like a negativity to everything. I'm like, oh, do you do this? No, I don't like doing that. What about this? No, I don't like it. I'm like, he lived, if you know Austin, you know the Domain. He lived at the Domain, which actually, now that I think of it, the place that we went was not close to him, but it's close to school. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm like, oh, do you like live in the Domain? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, well, there's really great shops. It's like a great area to walk outside. He's like, I guess. I'm like, what about food? Like, where do you like to eat out there? Like, there's some great places that I like, naming the places. He's like, nah. I'm like, so what do you like? because I'm trying to find something. Like, I don't care if we share the same interests and likes. Like, I just want to find something that you like to talk about so that you can come alive here. And so basically he's like, I eat at Velvet Taco and like fucking Chipotle or something really basic, or maybe Kava, something like that. He only names 2 places. I'm like, really? Nowhere else? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, then you must like to cook. Do you like to cook? He's like, no. I'm like, well, I just got an air fryer. I love to use my air fryer. It's so easy. He's like, it's too much work. I'm like, it's so easy. You just pop it in. He's like, too much cleaning. I go, I have these little silicone baking sheets. You put it. And he's like, no, too much work. I'm like, God damn, you're lazy. I don't say that, obviously. And he goes, I really don't like to cook. And I also don't really like to eat, which I'm like, I'm a foodie. What? How do you not like to eat? Who doesn't like to eat? Anyway, he's like, I don't really like to eat, but when I do cook, I make chicken and vegetables, but I don't use seasoning. I'm like, not even salt and pepper? He's like, no. So he doesn't use any seasonings. He just does plain chicken, cooks it with vegetables. But you might be saying, what's weird about that? Oh, he also says he doesn't like to eat, so he blends it. He blends his chicken and vegetables. And guess what? He's also trying to bulk. So he adds protein powder to his blended chicken and vegetables. So I react like this. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna hide my visceral reaction of disgust for you. And my next question is your mom a good cook? Because he was Indian. So I'm like, I know damn well his mom's got to be a great cook, but he's probably a butter noodle kid, which is what I like to call people who only eat butter noodles because they're super picky, and he's obviously a butter noodle kid. I go, is your mom a good cook? He goes, people say she is, but I don't like it. I'm like, okay. So the waitress comes by and goes, can we get another round of drinks? I go, actually, we're okay. Thank you so much. I think we'll take the check because I'm ready to leave. He goes, actually, I'll take another drink. And I stayed, you guys. I should have gotten up. I got another drink with him. Like, I'm only going to get another drink if the date does, but I don't want to be here. And I literally said that, but we stayed for another drink, try to find things to talk about. Come to find out, like, little things that he said he does over the apps. Like, he was like, oh, I don't actually do that. I'm like, he had, for example, I played tennis in high school, and he had a photo of him playing tennis on his profile. And I asked him over Hinge, how long, like, do you still play tennis? He's like, yeah, I've been playing for years. Like, I play X amount of times a week. And I asked him, I'm like, oh, where do you play tennis? He's like, I haven't played in 4 years. So you're a liar too. Cool. I stay for another 30 minutes for the second stupid drink. I rush out of that date. I say, thanks for the drinks. Nice meeting you. I get in my car. Before I pull out of that parking lot, I unmatch with him. So that was the time about how I went on a date with a man who blends chicken and vegetables and adds protein powder because he's trying to bulk. I'm so scared. Thank God I'm not single anymore.
Story time about the worst date that I've ever been on my entire life. In his car, he's not talking. He's literally not talking. I'm trying to make small talk. He's freaking weird. I'll say something. He'll say something weird in response. I can't even bring myself to fake laugh. Like, why'd you say that? Please take it back. So it's just really weird. And I asked him, I was like, can I see your phone so I can play some music? And he was like, yeah, here you go. He hands it to me. I get on his Apple Music. Every single playlist is named after me and has my picture as the cover picture. All of them. All of them. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna get home today? I don't know. I really don't know anymore. So I act like I don't see it. And then he's like, did you see? Did you see my playlist? I was like, I saw. Then he takes me go-kart racing. He wouldn't tell me where he was taking me. So I was like, he's gonna take me to the woods and kill me. Like, he's my stalker. Nah, he takes me go-karting, which is just a thing in itself. We get there, they're closed. So we sit in his car for 30 minutes till they open, which he's not talking until I get on my phone, right? Wrong. He starts looking over at my phone. He's like, who are you texting? Who are you talking to? Now, you don't know me. You don't know. I don't have to tell you who I'm talking to. And if I did tell him who I was talking to, he'd get all butthurt. What do you want me to say? I'm texting other boys. I'm texting my hoes right now. But if I said that, you get all butthurt. So maybe mind your own, huh? Then he takes me to Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. But also first date, really? Anyhow, we get there. He spills mild sauce all down his white hoodie. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, I'll get napkins. And he was like, no. He gets out of the car, slams the door, leaves me in there to eat my Taco Bell. So I'm just eating my Taco Bell while he's in the bathroom for like 15 minutes, cleaning himself up. He comes back out with a smudged round stain. He was like, I don't have another hoodie. And I was like, it's okay. Like, he's throwing a fit. And then he was like, wait, I might have a jacket in my backseat. So then he goes back, his trunk. He goes to his trunk, gets this winter coat puts it on, gets back in the car. I was like, okay, great. And he puts his elbow in my nacho cheese sauce. And I was like, hey, you just put your elbow in my nacho cheese sauce. He was like, are you kidding me? Which I was just like, whoa. So then he goes inside, leaves me in his car to eat my Taco Bell again. I'm already done. By the time he comes back out and starts eating his food, I'm done. So he's just sitting there eating for 30 minutes. We're not talking. We're not. Can't be on my phone because he's a nosy little hoe bag. So then he's like, now I'm going to take you to Six Flags. What? We just went go-kart racing and then Taco Bell. Now Six Flags? Okay. So then we go to Six Flags and he pays to park. He pays $30. He's like, I can't believe I just paid $30 to park at Six Flags. You planned the date. Why are you yelling at me? So then we go into Six Flags. I don't want to be there. I'm trying to hint, like, I'm so tired. Like, I really just need a nap. Like, you picked me up so early this morning. I haven't been getting up till noon every day. He's not taking the hint. He's like, what if you just took a nap in this line and then by the time you woke up, we could go on the ride? He was so weird. He was so weird. And ugly! I'm sorry. That's not nice. It's real. It's real. I'm not being a mean girl. I mean a real girl here. So then we get in line for another ride. And who's behind me? Directly behind me, but 3 people from my school. 3. And so I tell him, I was like, hey, don't turn around. There's people from my school behind us, and I'm not really friends with them. And he was like, I'm going to stare at them. And I was like, no, you're not. Don't be a freak. And then he was like, I'm just going to stare at them until they get uncomfortable and look away. Which I'm like, I'm going to kill myself. What if I just shoot myself right now? I don't want to be seen with him. I don't need them thinking that we're together. Like, at most, they can think we're cousins. I'm trying to distance myself away from him. He's buddy right up next to me no matter how far I scoot away. I'm up against the rail and he's up on me. And I'm scared for my life. Then we finally get on the ride. Who are we sitting next to? But of course, those 3 people. There's no way they didn't see me with him. There's no way they didn't know we were on a date because he was so freaking touchy-feely with me. So then we go on another ride. He puts his hand out for me to hold. And I was like, I shove it in my pocket as fast as I can. And I was like, sorry, my hands are really cold. And then he was like, you don't have to make excuses. Obviously, I do. Obviously, you're making me make excuses, putting your hand out like I want to hold it or something. Then we go on this last ride. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do more than this. So we get on the ride. I have my back pushed against the wall so he can't put his arm around me because he's so close to me I can smell him, and it is not a good smell. So I was just like, he can't put his arm around me if he can't get his hand behind me. He tries his best. He starts going, ooh, he makes a breakthrough behind my back, has his arm around me, and I guess he could see by the look on my face, which I was just like, he was like, wait, is it okay if I put my arm around you? And I was like, well, it's already there, you already did. What's the point asking now? So then finally I was just like, we get off this ride, I was like, I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. I'm so tired. Sorry. And he was like, well, I had a really nice dinner planned for us after this with your favorite food, chicken Alfredo. And I was like, it's not my favorite food. And he was like, your sister lied to me. She told me chicken Alfredo was your favorite food. He pulls out the messages. She was like, I don't know. She likes chicken Alfredo, kind of. He's arguing with me about how this is my favorite food. My sister didn't even say that was my favorite food. She said I liked it. And I was like, sorry, like, I just feel kind of sick and tired. Like, could you just take me home? He was like, well, my buddy isn't going to be home until 9 o'clock tonight. So I would just be alone at his house if you don't hang out with me longer. And I was like, not my monkeys, not my circus. Get in the car, and then he makes me get out of the car to take a picture with him. He parked all the way out in BFE. It's the longest walk. We're walking, we're not talking. We're not. So we get to his car, and he's like, can you get out and take a picture with me really fast? Which I'm like, why couldn't we take a picture in the car? But whatever. Take a picture. I'm literally like, because I cannot pretend to be happy when I'm not. I just can't. I can't. So we get back in the car, and he's like just staring at me, and I'm like trying to not look at him because I'm not trying to get kissed. And so I was like, I'll put my address in your phone right now. And so I do. And then he's just sitting there like, and I was like, drive. Take me home. Let's go. We get back up to my house and we get to my gate, and I get out, I hop out the car to get the gate, and I was like, you just leave me here. I'll walk back, which I have a crazy long driveway. So like, you know, I want it out of there. And he was like, no, that's so rude. I have to walk you up to your front door and meet your parents. I was like, my parents are home. They're not home. You can't meet them. Sorry. And I didn't want him walking all the way up to my front door because like my bedroom door kind of is just like on the side of the house. And I was like, you can just park up next to my bedroom door so you don't have to walk. So he pulls up to my bedroom door, still gets outside of the car to walk me out and gives me the world's longest hug, which is a stinky boy. He was a stinky boy. And then I pull away and I was like, okay, bye. And he was like, wait, like, and gives me like the, and I was like, drive safe. And I run inside to my bedroom. I'm like, great, I escaped. Wrong. He starts yelling my name from my bedroom. Jade! 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 Come back! And I was like, this isn't real. This isn't real. So I run into my mom's bedroom because she actually is home. And I was telling her, he's calling me nonstop, text me like, Jade, come back, come back. And she was like, you probably left something in his car. I was like, I did not leave anything in that man's car. And I was like, he wants me to kiss him. Then he texts me, can I kiss you before I leave? I was like, I don't kiss on the first date. He was like, sorry for even asking. I'm sorry too. So I think he's gone. He goes up to my gate and acts like he can't open it. It's literally just a latch and you just push it open. And he was like, it's fine. I'll just wait here till your mama gets home and she can save me. I was like, no, sir, she won't. She won't save you. Please leave. And he was like, oh, I figured it out. Bye. So then I'm like, okay, great. I can ghost him. He's texting me paragraphs every day. Being like, please don't ghost me. Please don't ghost me. He's getting ghosted. I'm sorry.
All right, y'all. Fuck it. I'm posting my Todd lore. I saw 2 other girls' videos talking about him and their experiences with him, and then like so many girls in their comments saying similar things. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna talk. And I've been like, I wanted to make a story time about this when this first happened. This was earlier this year. I have about 100 followers, so nobody was gonna see it, but also I was scared too, and you'll see why at the end, why I was scared to talk about this. I'm still a little nervous too, but fuck it. And I'll also tag the other girls in the description so that y'all can go watch their videos too, because their stories are crazy as well. This story takes me about an hour to tell at least, so I've written things down, made some bullet points, and we're gonna try and go through this quickly, so I'm probably gonna leave a lot of details out, but just know that this was batshit crazy from start to end. Okay, so I'm not even gonna talk about the pre-date phone call that we had, but that was fucking weird. I'm gonna skip right to the date because we don't have time. Met up, he was acting kind of weird, like tweaking out a bit as if he was drunk or maybe just really nervous. I don't know. Something was off though. He was really rude to the waiter. Not really rude. He was rude to the waiter though, and that should have been red flag number 1. And it wasn't like blatantly like disrespectful, but he wouldn't make eye contact with him. He was very like 1-word answers, just bad vibes with that. He talked about himself a lot, talked about school a lot, which is whatever. That's how I was asking the questions. That's just how we got the conversation started. First odd comment he made was that he said that he was friends with Odell Beckham Jr. and Saquon Barkley. I call bullshit. He said that he was like, I have a pair of Saquon's jeans. Actually, you would look really good in them because y'all have the same legs. That's an odd thing to say. He then was talking about my earrings, which actually I think were these same ones. He said, I like your earrings. They match the trunk, or they match the wagon. That's what he said. He said, I like your earrings. They match the wagon. That was kind of funny. I got to give it to him. He kept saying that I was abandoning him. Like anytime I try to leave throughout the night, he would accuse me of abandoning him. He'd be like, why are you abandoning me? Why are you abandoning me? Do you hate me? I was like, no, I'm just trying to go. And yes, I do kind of hate you at this point. I don't want to be around you. He vaped at the table and asked me if I vaped. I said no, but I used to for a really long time, but I just quit about a year ago. I'm giving him all the like tips and tricks that helped me start or stop vaping. And he's just sitting there quiet, and he looks at me when I finish my whole little spiel, and he goes, how often do you masturbate? Excuse me? Who asked that? I said, I'm not going to tell you, and I'm going to pretend you didn't ask that question. He also said I might be a sex addict. Not me, him. He said that he might be one. Kind of adds up. He also talked about a lawsuit that he was involved in, which I'm not going to go into, but wasn't good. After all of this, I did still kiss him in the parking lot. He kept trying to get me to go back to his hotel room with him, and I kept saying no. And that's when he would accuse me of abandoning him. But I'm like, no, I'm just trying to get home to my cats. And also, you're kind of freaking me out a bit. But
I still did end up kissing him in the parking lot. And as we were kissing, he stuck his hands down my pants, down the back of them, in the middle of the public parking lot, right in front of the Harris Teeter. So that's when I was like, all right, yeah, I'm not seeing this guy again. As if the previous red flags weren't enough, but I'm stupid. So anyways. Oh my God. He also, as we were saying goodbye, he says to me, and at this point, I had told him that I was gonna I'd be willing to meet up with him the next day. I really wasn't, but I was just trying to get him to go away. But he looks at me, he says, and he goes, are we ever gonna have sex? I'm like, brother, I just met you 3 hours ago. And I told him, I texted him before we went on this date because his phone call was giving different vibes. I said to him, if you're just looking to hook up, I'm not your girl, that's fine, no harm, no foul, but it's not gonna be me. So he knew that, but I guess didn't believe it. But yeah, he said, are we ever gonna have sex? So then this is where it gets weird, as if it wasn't weird enough already. He calls me when I get home. I'm thinking he was calling to make sure I got home okay, because I told him I'd text him. Me thinking he's gonna be sweet. No, he calls me and asks for the $30 that I owe him for drinks. He was being weird about splitting, not paying for the bill at the end, which I'm very much in the mindset, he initiated the date, he's the man, he should pay. And he was also the one doing the most drinking. He ordered the most drinks, which is fine, but just whatever. So he wanted $30 for my 2 drinks that I had. And I told him, I was like, that's fucking rude and ridiculous, but yeah, you'll get your $30. We're not talking ever again. And he threw a fit. I hung up on him. He starts blowing up my phone with all these crazy ass texts, and he starts calling me again, and I finally answer, and he goes into this whole boohoo sob story about why money is bad for him now and why he needs money and blah, blah, blah. It was a whole thing. And he was like, do you feel bad for me now? I said, no, not really, but I'll give you your $30, but don't talk to me again. And he goes, and I quote, okay, if you make a TikTok about me or any social media, I will fucking sue the fuck out of you. Do you understand? Are you kidding me? So that's why I'm scared of y'all, because I'm not trying to get sued. I can't afford that. I probably left so much. I know that I left so much out, but those were the highlights. The lowlights, but the highlights. Please don't sue me. I can't afford that, please. And yeah, this happened in Raleigh. I know that people have talked about him in Charleston was the other 2 dates. This happened in Raleigh. So if you're in those 2 areas, just steer clear of the guy. Steer clear of him. Save yourself the trauma. Don't do it. Trust me. Because I haven't been on a date. This happened in January, and I haven't been on a date since. So love that for me.
Hello. Here we are again with another hot tub talk because I'm unemployed and have nothing better to do. So yeah, actually I told this story a lot to my friends and they thought it'd be funny if I made a video about it. I've been hesitant because this recently just happened to me and it was very embarrassing to say the least. This happened last weekend and I'll give you the full rundown basically. First date experience. So, I have been talking to this guy for around 3 weeks, give or take. Right now, at this very moment, it's been longer. But back then, it was 3 weeks, okay? Obviously, met on Hinge. Yeah, I don't know. Don't recommend it. Yeah, so we were talking. We would chat every day. You know, he was in college in another state, but he's from where I live, which is Colorado. So he was coming back soon for the holidays, and I guess he's moving back here, so I'm like, perfect. So we're talking every day. It's I would say it's good talk, but it's in a way it's not super engaging, but it's the conversation is there, okay? So I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, I think this is gonna be good. The week that he came back, he was like, let's, we were talking about meeting up with each other. I'm like, perfect, let's go on a date. First red flag, he's not really planning the date, I'm planning the date, but the thing about me is I like to take charge in making plans because I just don't trust people to make plans and make them follow through. Like, I do not trust it. So I was making these plans to go to this bar by my apartment, and I'm like, we can go to the bar and we can play pool after. Perfect. He said that works. We set a day. We set a day on Saturday at 8 p.m. Perfect. I am making sure throughout the week that he's able to do it. He's like, yes, that should work. That should work. Blah, blah, blah. Perfect. Even the day before, I was like making sure, like, does this work for you? Are we still on? He said, yes, we should be fine. Whatever. The day comes around, and I'm assuming because he says he's able to do it. I'm like, so we're meeting at the bar, right? He's like, yes, that should work. Perfect. Then it's closer to the time I'm supposed to meet him, which is 8 p.m. And I'm getting all dolled up, getting all ready, getting my hair all cute, getting my makeup all perfect, taking me a while to get ready, right? So I'm all spruced up. 8 p.m. rolls around. Right at 8 p.m., I'm like, hey, like, we're meeting, right? Because I was like, I'm going to be a little fashionably late, okay? I live like 5 minutes away from him. So he's saying, hey, I might have to be later. I'm at this family thing. They're keeping me here. I'm like, okay. That's fine. A little weird. It's like you're not telling people you have plans in advance, but okay, it's a family event. I'm not going to bitch about it, okay? 8:15 comes around, 8:30, I'm still waiting, no text from him, and I'm just saying, like, hey, like, what time do you want to meet now? Like, give an estimate, ballpark. He's like, so sorry, like, fuck, I'm still here. It's gonna be a little bit later. I'm like, whatever, this kind of sucks, but I don't got anything else better to do tonight, so just let me know, right? And then it's like 9:15, 9:30, and I'm, in my mind, I'm like, oh, this sucks. I'm gonna go down to the bar at my apartment and drink there because I'm pissed off. So I go down, order some drinks, talk to the cute bartender. He's like, how's your night been? I'm like, not that great. I'm about to be flaked on a date, but it's fine. I'm ordering big ass Aperol spritzes, trying to ignore what was happening. But I was like, in my mind, I'm like sitting here waiting for this man to text me, being like, hey, I'm coming, or hey, I'm not. He texts me at like 9:45 saying, can we reschedule? And I'm like, do you want to? Because, you know, I mean, I'm sitting here doing nothing. If you want to meet later, that's fine. This just kind of sucks. And, you know, I'm not doing anything else tonight. Whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, ugh. He's like, yeah, like, I'm able to do, like, maybe, like, it'd be later, though. And I'm like, okay. Still no text for, like, an hour. I'm sitting at this bar. And then these 40-year-olds walk into the bar, see that I'm drinking alone, and the 40-year-old woman, it comes up to me, she's like, do you want to drink with us? You're drinking all alone. Yeah, sure. I'm telling them, like, what's going on. I'm, like, drinking with the creepy 40-year-olds at the bar, and this 40-year-old woman who also, like, I guess got stood up by her family or some shit, and I'm like, what is this, the stood up bar? This is really sad. So I'm talking with them, and I'm still waiting for this kid to be like, I'm coming. He's still giving me no answer. And these 40-year-olds are saying to me, they're like, do you just want to, like, come out with us? And I'm like, sure. So we go to this dive bar that I actually like going to with these 40-year-olds, drinking with them. Me and this 40-year-old woman are having a heart-to-heart about, like, being single and shit. It's just like, didn't know it was gonna go like this tonight. At 11 p.m., this boy texts me saying, I'm drunk, sorry, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. My family always does this to me. You're drunk? You must be at a very important event that you can't leave if you're getting really wasted at it. Having a blast. You're having a blast, aren't ya? So I was just like, whatever, fuck this. Like, I'm just gonna drink tonight. And I was trying to hit on people at the pub I was at. Not going my way. It was just not a good night. And then it gets worse, guys. I'm like pretty drunk at this point, okay? I've had a lot of drinks. I was not in a good mood. Walk out of this bar at 2 a.m., try to bum a cigarette off this dude, and I'm like smoking the cigarette alone. And then this dude, this short, bald, chubby dude comes up to me. He's like, you want to go to Afters? And my drunk ass is like, sure. So I give him my number. And he like texts me about the after details. Thank God I didn't go, guys. I considered it because I was so sad and drunk. I was like, I just need to forget this night and have fun. 2 days later, I get a random phone call. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I call him back. I'm like, hey, hello, who's this? And he's like, hey, FaceTime me. I'm like, okay. So I FaceTime this person. Don't know why I did that, but I was out of curiosity. It's the short, chubby guy FaceTiming me, full on face, being like, hey. And I was like scared because I was like, why is this old man FaceTiming me? And I barely remember his face. And he's like, hey, we're having a Christmas Eve rager, you should come. No, I literally was so uncomfortable. It was like half of my screen. I was like, I'm okay. Hang up, lock. The dude apologized the next day that flaked on the date. I'm giving him one more shot. I'm seeing him tomorrow. I'll let you know how it goes. But yeah, that was my horror of a weekend. If it makes you feel any better about yourself, about a first date horror shit shout that you've gone through. So, anyway, that's my story. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.
First date story time, except I almost died. I wish I was kidding. So me and this guy, obviously same old, Snapchatting, talking for a little while. He's actually from Texas, but is working in New Orleans. Well, New Orleans is like an hour, 20 minutes from me, including the New Orleans traffic. So what better, more safe place is there to meet a stranger? At first I was thinking, let's do a little Sunday date, like go through the French Quarter, through Bourbon Street, all of that, because I really do love doing that. Plus, Sunday's a little more rated G for New Orleans. Not really, but kinda. If such thing exists. But then I was getting impatient. I was like, nah, let's meet tonight. As in Saturday. Side note, his job literally is like, they get one day off every now and then. Like one Sunday off, and then they'll work through a full week, and then the next Sunday they have off. So most of the time he's working like almost 14 days in a row. All of this to say, his work friends wanted to go out as well. Well, first time meeting and all, I'm not opposed to meeting like in a group setting. So that's what we do. I first meet him in this parking lot. Like he told me to park, it's a pay to park. He was like, let me know when you get here. I'll come out and pay for your parking. I was like, beautiful. So we're FaceTiming. He's trying to find where I'm parked because there's some like festival thing going on at this time. He finally finds me. We greet each other, go to the pay to park thing and pay for my car to park. Then we walk into Coyote Ugly. We're there for probably a couple of hours. Honestly, having a really good time. I really liked the way that he was. Like, we got off. It wasn't awkward. Just a good old Texas man. So I thought. Well, then we decided to part from Coyote Ugly. And one of the girls that we're with is actually a bartender in New Orleans. So she knows all the stops. Well, we're just dilly-dallying along. And she's like, oh my gosh, you have to ride the cock. I was like, pardon? So then we go into this bar. Literally, there's a like mechanical bull, but it's a chicken. So what do? I ride the cock. We literally shut that bar down. And at that point, I'm like, I'm tired. Let's go to the hotel. Separate rooms, may I add. And they're just like, no, we never get to go out, whatever. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't care. Let's just do whatever you want to do. So then we go to this other, it's actually a club. I think it was called like Razoo's or something. It was honestly a lot of fun. Like, I'm glad we ended up going, kinda. And if you know me, you know I love to dance and sing and all of that kind of stuff. So it really was my scene. Until it hits about the 4 o'clock hour. At first, like, we went outside the club, went inside the club, whatever, back and forth, visiting, dancing, all of the things. Tell me why, 4 o'clock comes around, this man's, like, on the bar table, just, like, nodding. I said, okay, time to go. I'm trying to arouse him, being like, hey, we'll call him Bob. Bob, let's go. Wake up. This man swats my hand away, like, not just a little, like, swings his arm. I said, oh no. And at first, his like friend was doing it too. So I was like, maybe he thought I was his friend, you know, being that he's not awake. Eyes are closed. So then I'm like, hey, Bob, let's go. And he like pushes me off of him.
Hey, I'm Rachel. I'm 23. Let's talk about my dating life while I curl my hair because you'll find see and I love it. Majority of the comments and DMs I got from part 1 were like, Rachel, they can't all be this bad. Technically, no, they're all not this bad, but... Is that a sign? Anyway, here's part 2. Let's flash back to like 2019. Me and this kid ended up following each other. We had mutual followers, mutual friends, da 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 da. And I thought this kid was godsend. He is so fine. I can't even, I'm not even gonna give that much away because that's just gonna give me. We were sliding up on each other's Instagram stories, and then all of a sudden it just stopped from both of our ends. And then during that time that it stopped, I ended up getting a boyfriend. Toxic boyfriend at that. But anyway, so in the time that I had a boyfriend, this kid ended up messaging me on Instagram again and basically asked me to go out with him somewhere. And I had to say no because I had a fucking boyfriend. Now fast forward to like last year. I was single and I hit him up and I basically asked him to go get like drinks, coffee, whatever, and he has a girlfriend. Very sad. Side note, he actually unfollowed me on Instagram. No, you relax. So after I asked him to go get drinks, I literally started seeing him everywhere. And I mean like everywhere. Every restaurant, every store, literally out of state. I literally saw him in New York and in Boston. So now fast forward again to like 2 months ago. I was at lunch with my friend and he actually was working at this restaurant and I was flabbergasted because I actually was talking about him that morning. So I ended up asking our waitress if she knew if he was single and she said yes. And I was like, period. So I wrote down my number on a napkin and I told her to give it to him and she said she was going to. I will to this day never know if she did because he never texted me.